Grayber Post building cam looking to the west out of Terre Haute. We're kind of clouded up for the time being. We may see some breaks in those clouds here yet this evening. There's the temperature change in the last 24 hours. We are a little bit warmer in most places. Not a lot, but a little bit. And here's what it looks like as far as the temperature out there right now. Our daytime high today actually hit 71. We've got warmer days ahead. We'll talk about how much warmer and when some rain could move in. That's all coming up in just a little bit. Your news starts right now.
This is local news that matters. You're watching WAWV Live at 5.
2 people are in jail and another in the hospital after a shooting in Terre Haute today.
And local high school students raising awareness about suicide prevention.
Also, a 4-legged hero. We have a story about a dog that laid beside a critically injured teen in a rural cornfield until help arrived.
Well, good afternoon to you, and thanks so much for joining us for Live at 5. I'm Dana Winklepleck.
And I'm Mike Tank. 2 people are in custody and 1 person in the hospital after a shooting in Terre Haute this afternoon.
Terre Haute police went to 15th and Walnut Streets around 1 this afternoon on a report of a shooting victim. Police say the person was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Officers arrested 17-year-old Javier Jamerson and 18-year-old Damian Swinson Jr., both of Terre Haute. They face charges of aggravated battery, robbery, and resisting law enforcement. Jamerson, who was booked into jail as an adult, also faces a charge of pointing a firearm. And 2 people face charges of attempted murder after police say shots were fired at officers during a pursuit. The chase happened early this morning in Terre Haute. Officers tried to pull over a vehicle believed to be involved in an earlier shots-fired call. But police say the driver would not stop and shots were fired at officers from the vehicle. According to Police Chief Sean Keene, there were no serious injuries and no officers fired shots. So when the pursuit ended, police took 25-year-old Damon White of Indianapolis and 17-year-old Minyari Anthony of Fishers into custody. Police say Anthony was booked as an adult based on the charge. Authorities say they questioned 2 others who were in that vehicle as well, but no charges have been filed against them at this time. Police say White also faces a charge of armed robbery. It's in connection to a robbery earlier this month at the Jiffy Mini Mart at 1301 Poplar Street.
Terre Haute man was acquitted of both homicide and involuntary manslaughter in a 2019 shooting death. Doreen Randall was arrested in November of 2019 after 26-year-old Evan Pershing was found shot dead at a home on Heritage Drive. Randall's trial was this week. The jury found him not guilty on the 2 most serious charges, but he was found guilty of being a serious violent felon in possession of a firearm. Also, he was convicted of resisting law enforcement. Illinois will not hike taxes on booze this year. Beer, spirits, and wine distributors say they're confident that the state will not raise taxes on their products. That happened after 61 House lawmakers signed a resolution blocking the idea. The Illinois Fuel and Retail Association says small businesses need time to recover from the pandemic, and they say higher taxes could hurt that effort.
So a majority of House members come together, a bipartisan coalition, and sponsor a resolution that goes against that idea, to say that we have enough taxes on those products in the state. And I think that's really important as the state's hospitality sector, as our state's retailers try to rebound from the pandemic and what was really a catastrophic last year for them.
The association says alcohol sales are a major economic driver in the state.
Well, a club at a local high school plants a tree to raise awareness about suicide prevention. The tree was planted outside of Booker T. Washington High School in Terre Haute. Students in the Bring Change to Mind Club planted the tree in memory of a classmate. They also wanted to raise awareness about teen mental health and suicide, something that has affected so many.
It's important to me because I lost somebody that was a really good friend of mine, and he was like a brother to me pretty much. So I look back at this and I'm like, he reminds me of him.
Our tree is a symbol for the community, branches out, that it is a reminder that we all have a responsibility to suicide prevention. It's happened one too many times in our own community.
And the Bring Change to Mind Club is a student club that focuses on mental health. Well, back in March, Layla Knotts crashed her vehicle into a cornfield in Sullivan County. She was thrown from that vehicle and critically injured. But Layla had a protector, a dog named Zoe. This might look like your ordinary dog.
Zoe is a mixed breed. She's a a blue heeler and an Australian Shepherd.
She watches over Carlisle Valley Irrigation and owner Kyler Knott's nearby farm fields and house.
It's pretty much a free-range dog. She gets to do whatever she likes whenever she likes.
In March, this friendly pooch heard a crash. Layla Knotts, who's not related to Kyler, was thrown from her vehicle into a field. She lay there for several hours.
I had a fractured skull, or part of my skull, and then fractured vertebrae, 6 breaks in my hand, a concussion, a broken nose.
We just remember getting the phone call about the accident and just a lot of unanswered questions, but our main concern was if she was even going to live.
Layla's family eventually learned Layla had a guardian angel that night.
She was with me for 6 hours in 24-degree weather.
Emergency workers told Kyler they could see where Zoe had laid next to Layla.
So she had kept her warm throughout the night.
She was with Layla to protect her, because out here where we live in the sticks, there's coyotes and potentially bobcats and all kinds of critters.
Layla went to Riley Hospital while Zoe returned to her normal duties. But eventually, the pair had a reunion.
She started smiling and definitely remembers me.
As for Zoe, she's become kind of a local hero.
We're very, very happy with her, and she's gotten a lot of treats for being a good dog.
A lot of treats, and definitely a lot of thank yous. And Layla's mom says that Layla recovering quite well. She calls that a miracle in itself, considering the extent of Layla's injuries.
That's quite a story. All right. Well, a local university announces a change to its mask policy. It comes after the CDC released new guidance. It said those who are fully vaccinated do not need to wear masks in most situations. Desharian McBroom joins us now with Indiana State University's mask plan moving forward. Desharian.
With the CDC saying masks can be optional in most locations for those who are fully vaccinated, some places are beginning to scale back their own mask policies. Indiana State University has ended its requirement for masks to be worn on campus in common areas for individuals who are fully vaccinated. Those who are not fully vaccinated can only be unmasked if they're in a private office or private residence hall room. The new mask policy takes effect immediately with the summer semester beginning on Monday.
We are going to put our trust in the Sycamore community and the Sycamore family. We have had to have that trust in everyone since this began, and with everybody's cooperation, we've come a really long way.
ISU is strongly encouraging their students and staff to be vaccinated as they work towards having a normal semester in the fall. Alicia says the university will look at protocols for the fall, including classes, at a later date. Mike?
All right, thank you, Desharian. Terre Haute is teaming up with Keep Terre Haute Beautiful and Republic Services for a citywide cleanup. They hold these cleanups every year in the spring and fall, and this season's takes place tomorrow. Cleanup will run from 8 a.m. to noon. They're now hoping volunteers will come out and help make the neighborhoods and city look their best. You can meet up with organizers at the Terre Haute Police Department. That's at 105 South 13th Street. You can find all the details on our website, mywabashvalley.com.
Today, the United Way of the Wabash Valley received a grant for its Strong Neighborhoods Impact Council. Centerpoint Energy awarded the council $50,000. The focus of the council is creating safe, vibrant, and inclusive neighborhoods. Now, the United Way will match today's funding to create many grant opportunities for neighborhood improvement projects. The council also plans to use some of that funding toward projects in Terre Haute's Rives neighborhood. Sullivan's downtown area a little more beautiful this afternoon thanks to flowers. The effort is called the Flood of Flowers. This morning, Sullivan City employees, volunteers from various groups, and students from the master's class planted flowers throughout the city. It is an annual event that brings people together while helping to beautify the city.
That is pretty. A golf outing today provided some friendly competition while supporting mental health in children and adolescents. Hamilton Center hosted its annual Sheriff Shootout golf outing. I, along with longtime WTWO anchor Tom McClanahan, took part in the event at Ray Park. 100% of the proceeds from the event go toward Hamilton Center's child and adolescent services and programs.
Just reaching out and having an event like this and having community partners come together to work as one, to raise money for the kids, it's a special time, it's a special day.
Absolutely, and this was the 30th year for this worthy event.
Well, students at 2 local elementary schools have some new books to enjoy. Today, our station delivered books to Chrisman and Shiloh Elementary Schools in Edgar County. The effort sponsored by Horizon Health in Paris. The books come from First Book and Disney. In all, 1,000 books delivered to kids.
Beautiful day out there today, but I have to go back to the story about the dog. That was fantastic.
I know, an amazing family. The dog's owner is pretty amazing. Layla and her mom, pretty amazing. So it was terrific to meet them all.
Yeah, absolutely.
And how'd you do in your golf game?
Well, we had fun.
I won't ask anymore.
Yeah, we had fun. Absolutely had fun. Good to see Tom again. It was great.
It was a good deal.
Yeah. All right. Well, you certainly didn't. Well, we needed a jacket early this morning, but not in the afternoon, and I'm wondering about the weekend.
We'll find out. Jesse Walker going to have that forecast up next.
Local news that matters with Mike Tank, Dana Winkleplack, and Chief Meteorologist Jesse Walker. You're watching WAWV Live at 5. WTWO teamed up with Toyota of Terre Haute for the 2021 Pack It Back program. Drop off your non-perishable food items to these locations now through May 16th. Log on to mywabashvalley.com to learn more.
The Hershey Company, located in Robinson, Illinois, is hiring production operators. With wages starting at $17.99 per hour, we offer a 50-cent premium for second and third shift, and additional pay increases throughout the training period. Benefits are available on day 1. Production operators are required to be flexible to work any shift, first, second, third, on 8, 10, or 12-hour shifts, plus weekends and overtime is needed. Apply online at careers.thehersheycompany.com.
In these tough economic times, more and more people just like you are struggling with debt. Maybe you're behind on your mortgage, facing a mountain of credit card debt and barely getting by. But there is hope. In tough times, you call Himes. The Himes Law Office. Eliminate your debt. Stop the harassing phone calls and get back on your feet without losing your car or home. In tough times, you call Himes. The Himes Law Office. 812-235-7919.
You've been counting the days, weeks, months, just waiting for the Memorial Day Super Sale at Denver Mattress. Right now, the more you buy, the more you save. Save $100 on every $1,000 you spend. Check out the Summit Firm for only $199.99. Or save up to $500 on select Tempur-Pedic adjustable mattress sets and get a free $300 gift. Plus 7 years no interest and free shipping. The Memorial Day Super Sale on now at Denver Mattress.
My ultimate goal is to make sure people are aware when weather really, really matters, and that's the severe weather, whether it's the ice storm or the tornado, that I was able to give them that information and help prepare them before it got there. We are your local weather authority.
Local Weather Authority with Chief Meteorologist Jesse Walker.
Welcome back, everybody. Temperatures today compared to this time yesterday, a little bit warmer. 3 degrees warmer in Terre Haute, 6 in Robinson, 6 in Danville, and 5 over in Greencastle. So temperatures are looking a little bit better today. Basically, the warmer weather pattern is now here. We had all of this cold weather for a while, but things are warming up now. Going to stay that way. As a matter of fact, even warmer weather will be coming by this time next week. We did hit 71 for the high today. 74 is the normal. So we actually got pretty close to normal for a change. But look at what happened 3 years ago. In 2018, we hit 91 for the record high. We dropped to 42 this morning. That was cool, but still 6 degrees away from the record low set in 1920 when we hit 36. There's been no precipitation today. It's been pretty dry out there. We actually could use some rain, and we've got some in the forecast. We'll talk about the timing on that here in just a little bit. Here's what it looks like now as we take you out to the airport on the east side of Terre Haute. Not a bad evening, going 68, winds are south of 5, humidity really low, 27%. So the air is really, really dry. pressure's pretty high as high pressure is now moving right over the state of Indiana. Here's what the temperatures look like. Pair of 70s up there in Champaign and Danville, 69 Vincennes, 70 down in Washington, and if you're over near the Bloomington area, about 70 degrees over there. So pretty consistent near the 70-degree mark. Here is the Crossroads Cyclecast for tonight. We're looking at partly cloudy skies at 7 o'clock Eastern time. Temperature at 68, wind south at 4 miles per hour, and really no rain chance. So if you're going to be out this evening, another good evening to be out, maybe on the bike or doing something else. On the water vapor satellite, a little bit of moisture coming in. This is in the upper level. Remember, the humidity is 27%, so this is in the upper level of the atmosphere. Some of this moisture is coming in, and that has given us some cloud cover, but no rain, because anything that would try to rain would dry up. The air is so dry here, so we see some showers west of here, but again, they're running into this very dry air mass. So for us, this rain you see tries to move in, and it will just basically be some cloud cover. The clouds will tend to thicken as we head through the overnight hours. Obviously, nothing showing up on the Dorset Automotive Doppler radar. So the futurecast shows just a few clouds now. The clouds will tend to thicken as the night wears on. Now, as we get into the day tomorrow, I think we're in pretty good shape most all of the day. West of here, we start to see some rain. As we get into tomorrow night and into the day Sunday, that's when the rain chances will start increasing. I really think especially later in the day. See this by Sunday? So any rain tomorrow looks like it's going to be west of here, but mostly tomorrow night into the day Sunday, and I think increasing chances as we head into the day Sunday. The wind will be out of the south as we head through the weekend. Not real strong, 10 to 15 miles per hour pretty much both days, out of kind of a south to southeast direction. And then after that, as far as the next chance of rain, well, we're just going to let that run for you. It pretty much goes almost every day next week, almost a daily chance of scattered showers in the areas, so the pattern is changing, wet and warmer. Here's the cooler air moving away, and here's the warmer air from the southwest, and guess what? Headed our way, so we definitely have some warmer days ahead over the next several days. So the forecast looks like this then for tonight. Looks like a lot of clouds will start moving in, so we'll call it partly cloudy. 45 for the low. Then during the day tomorrow, cloudy skies. We should stay dry. Any rain would be late in the day, a high of 70. And then after that, the rain chances will start ramping up as we head for Sunday, scattered in nature, and then pretty much every day next week. But look at the temps. Next Thursday and Friday, highs could hit the lower 80s. Dana?
Oh, liking that. Coming up, a new device may be able to help regulate sleep cycles for those making some drastic changes to their schedules.
Get instant access to national, local, political, and entertainment news all in one place. MyWabashValley.com.
The far right thinks this, the far left thinks that. Where do you go to find the common sense point of view, the American point of view?
From politics to sports to pop culture, we'll ask the questions you want answered.
I don't want to tell you how to think. I want to give you something to think about.
The Dunlin Report, weeknights at 7, 6 Central on News Nation.
Top line detail in Terre Haute.
I'm Todd Hine with LaborLink. Are you ready to start work right away? Then go to GoLaborLink.com and click on the Job Seekers tab. This is where you can fill out our employment application and get the ball rolling. Plus, you can click on our job postings and see what jobs we are immediately hiring for. If you're ready to take control of your future and have the support of a team that cares about you, then apply now. Start work right away with LaborLink.
The COVID-19 crisis has been especially hard on older people and their families.
This pandemic required nursing home visitation restrictions, which kept families apart. And Indiana nursing home care still costs about $80,000 per year. But there is hope.
Nursing homes are finding ways for clients to connect safely, and we're still guiding clients and families to protect assets and have peace of mind about the cost of long-term care.
Call us at Hawkins Elder Law, and we will guide you through the process.
And you might sleep better at night.
Top line detail in Terre Haute.
All the news, weather, and sports that matter to you are on MyWabashValley.com. This is local news that matters. WAWV Live at 5 continues.
Creators are calling it a living pharmacy in your body, an implantable device to regulate sleep cycles and enhance health. Dina Baer has more on the high-tech approach to getting better Z's.
The device is, it should be about the size of, let's say, the first couple knuckles of your pinky, but really thin, only a couple of millimeters. And the idea is that can be implanted just under the skin.
Northwestern biomedical engineer Dr. Jonathan Rivnay showed us the lab where his team is building part of a wireless wearable device they hope will help control the body's circadian clock, the system that regulates sleep.
The state of the art right now is using melatonin. Even when it's used right, melatonin can only kind of help you shift about 1 hour per day. So that means that if you're traveling 8 months, shifting your work schedule by 8 hours, it could take you a week to adjust to that.
It works by housing a tiny implant preloaded with engineered cells that, when exposed to a light source, will make and release biomolecules to promote sleep at the right time.
So that's the implant shown over here. And then you'd have the sleeve over it, so this would be the communication between the two. So you would envision that once you want to start using the device, you would tell this external hub, you would tell it, I need to shift my time zone by 8 hours, and it would figure out from your circadian rhythm exactly when and how often to deliver that biomolecule. It's essentially a living pharmacy, right? You can produce a biomolecule on demand without needing to carry pills or anything like that.
The team plans to test the implant in human trials, but first have to perfect the model in the lab.
A big problem for service members being deployed overseas, and of course we want our first responders, medical personnel to be in top shape when they're performing. It'll be a big problem for the population. So we want to start with people who have a really direct need for it right now.
Well, beyond controlling circadian rhythms, the researchers believe that this technology could be modified to release other types of therapies, potentially treating pain and disease. They've received a $33 million federal grant to pursue that project. Well, coming up, a look at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame's 2021 inductees, including Jay-Z and Tina Turner, and a group that's really got the beat.
Managing type 2 diabetes? You're on it. You may think you're doing all you can to manage type 2 diabetes and heart disease, but could your medication do more to lower your heart risk? Jardiance can reduce the risk of cardiovascular death for adults who also have known heart disease, so it could help save your life from a heart attack or stroke. And Jardiance lowers A1C.
Jardiance can cause serious side effects, including dehydration, genital yeast or urinary tract infections, and sudden kidney problems. Ketoacidosis is a serious side effect that may be fatal. A rare but life-threatening bacterial infection in the skin of the perineum could occur. Stop taking Jardiance and call your doctor right away if you have symptoms of this bacterial infection, ketoacidosis, or an allergic reaction. And don't take it if you're on dialysis or have severe kidney problems. Taking Jardiance with a sulfonylurea or insulin may cause low blood sugar.
Lower A1C and lower risk of a fatal heart attack?
On it with Jardiance.
We're committed to making Jardiance available and affordable. With our savings card, eligible patients pay as little as $10.
Hey, I'm Cody with the Tulip Company. Create your very own beautiful outdoor space with the Tulip Company. We offer you the largest variety of locally grown plants in the Wabash Valley. That means you can get the freshest perennials and annuals available for your home. Plus, shop our trees and shrubs, tropicals, and of course, our giant variety of seasonal tulips. Our garden center experts are here to help you with any questions. It's time to get growing with the Tulip Company.
WTWO teamed up with Toyota of Terre Haute for the 2021 Pack It Back program. Drop off your non-perishable food items to these locations now through May 16th. Log on to mywabashvalley.com to learn more. Get the clearest views of the Wabash Valley with the Skywatch Network on WAWV. Plus, view the cameras online at mywabashvalley.com. Brought to you by Graver Post Buildings. This is local news that matters. WAWV Live at 5 continues.
Welcome back, everybody. Finally, temperatures are getting close to normal today, and they're going to stay pretty nice as we head through the next couple days, getting you into the weekend. Let's talk temps. Right now, we're around 70 degrees out there. By tomorrow morning, it will not drop down as cold as it has been. We'll drop down probably into the mid to upper 40s as we start the weekend. Then during the day tomorrow, even with a lot of cloud cover, we're going to get back up to around 70, maybe upper 60s. Then as we head into overnight, into early on Sunday morning, we'll drop down only to the low 50s. And then during the day on Sunday, once again, temperatures getting back near 70. So overall, not a bad weekend with the temperatures, but we do have rain chances, and we'll talk more about that rain in just a little bit. Mike?
Okay, thank you so much, Jesse. This week, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame announced its class of 2021 inductees. Jennifer Jordan has more on the 6 performers who made the cut.
I'm the new Sinatra, and since I made it here, I can make it anywhere.
The sights and sounds of some of music's best artists. The 36th annual Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony will take place October 30th at Cleveland's Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse.
We are so thrilled that this event is happening this year. We're excited about the announcement of such a diverse and powerful class.
Waka Onwusa is the chief curator at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and says this year's diverse class of talented inductees reflects the Hall's ongoing commitment to honor artists whose music created the sound of a generation.
You got to understand that it took gospel, it took jazz, it took, R&B, it took all of these things to make rock and roll really what it is. It's truly one of those genres that is like hip hop, a compilation of so many different sounds and influences.
Ballots for this year's class were sent to an international voting body of more than 1,200 artists, including current living inductees, historians, and members of the music industry. Factors such as an artist's musical influence on other artists, length of career, and body of work, all taken into consideration. The 2021 inductees are the Foo Fighters, the Go-Go's, Tina Turner, Carole King, Todd Rundgren, and Jay-Z.
Jay-Z, he's been really huge for New York for such a long time. Does so much for the industry.
Well, I think that's nice. I'm not too familiar with all their Carole King, yes.
Fans visiting the Rock Hall honored to be present on a day where history is being made as the anticipation for an unforgettable live celebration of music continues to grow.
The dedication they have is just something that, it's something to be seen and something to appreciate.
All right. Well, still ahead in our second half hour. A major breakthrough as the CDC says fully vaccinated can mostly stop wearing masks. But is that true everywhere? And Republicans vote in a new representative into the House leadership ranks. They hope to turn the page from the recent tensions and focus on the next election. All that and more when we return.
Stop in the Menards and update your home's exterior with a new coat of stain. We have a great selection of stain from Pittsburgh Paints and Stains and Thompson's Water Seal. Check out the beautiful, vibrant stains that will protect your decks, siding, and porches from sun and moisture damage. Right now, get 11% off all Pittsburgh and Thompson's stains and sealants. Save big money and get 11% off everything. Now at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
I don't want to tell you how to think.
It just doesn't do us any good to be fighting amongst ourselves.
I want to give you something to think about.
Everybody else does immunize themselves. If people choose not to have their shots, they'll only have themselves to blame.
The Dunlin Report, weeknights at 7, 6 Central on News Nation.
Whether it's baking cakes, cutting hair, get a skill that you own.
We were the mainstream for 30 years. The truth is, maybe we belong as a cult.
Let's let people of color voice themselves.
Banfield, weeknights at 10, 9 Central on News Nation.
In these tough economic times, more and more people just like you are struggling with debt. Maybe you're behind on your mortgage, facing a mountain of credit card debt and barely getting by. But there is help. In tough times, you call Himes. The Himes Law Office. Eliminate your debt. Stop the harassing phone calls and get back on your feet without losing your car or home. In tough times, you call Himes. The Himes Law Office. 812-235-7919.
Hi, my name is Michelle Edwards. I'm a behavioral health therapist with Valley Professionals Community Health Center. Addiction impacts many things in an individual's life, including their family. Family members need support too and should not be ashamed to ask for help or talk about the impact addiction has on their life. Some great places to ask for help are with a doctor, therapist, school counselor, or even a teacher. You are not alone. If you or a loved one needs help managing your behavioral health, Valley Professionals is here to help. Call us or look us up at valleyprohealth.org.
And now, your WAWB forecast first.
Welcome back, everybody. Beautiful day across the valley today, and going to be a nice night tonight if you're going to be out doing anything. The weather looks pretty good. Here's what we've got right now. A live look with our Graber Post building cam. Looking west, you can see some blue skies mixed with cloud cover, so Partly cloudy skies out there. There's the satellite and the radar, kind of the same thing. You'll see a few clouds drifting down across the area. We're all clean on the Dorset Automotive Doppler radar. Temperatures are in the upper 60s to near 70. Overnight, temperatures won't drop a whole lot, dropping down into the mid to upper 40s tomorrow morning. Warmer weather is on the way, but so some rain. We'll talk about both of those in just a little bit. Your news continues right now.
This is local news that matters. You're watching WAWV Live at 5.
Welcome back. Here's a quick look at today's local headlines. Terre Haute police responded to 15th and Walnut Streets around 1 this afternoon on the report of a shooting victim. Police say the person was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Officers arrested 17-year-old Javier Jamerson and 18-year-old Damian Swinson Jr., both of Terre Haute. They face charges of aggravated battery, robbery, and resisting law enforcement. Jamerson also faces a charge of pointing a firearm. A club at Booker T. Washington High School planted a tree to raise awareness about suicide prevention. The tree was planted outside of that Terre Haute school. Students in the Bring Change to Mind Club planted the tree in memory of a classmate. They also wanted to raise awareness about teen mental health and suicide, something that has affected so many. And back in March, a local teen suffered critical injuries when she crashed her vehicle. Layla Knotts was ejected from that vehicle, but a four-legged hero was by her side. Zoe patrols Carlisle Valley Irrigation and watches over the owner's home and nearby farm fields. Layla laid in a cornfield for several hours, but Zoe heard that crash, and she laid beside her for about 6 hours until rescue workers arrived.
Now to that major milestone here in the U.S. The CDC says fully vaccinated Americans can return to life without masks in most cases.
But still a lot of questions as to what this guidance means with employers and businesses. Are they still able to enforce their own rules?
Rena Roy has the latest.
A major breakthrough in the fight against COVID-19.
I feel like a sense of freedom right now.
I've already planned a mask burning party.
The CDC saying the more than 118 million Americans who are fully vaccinated can ditch their masks and stop social distancing in most cases.
I can breathe again.
I think that's fantastic. I think that's what everyone was waiting to hear.
More than a third of the U.S. population able to show off their smiles again, over 400 days after federal health officials first recommended masking up.
It's a great milestone, a great day. It's been made possible by the extraordinary success we've had in vaccinating so many Americans so quickly.
President Biden and Vice President Harris in the Rose Garden, both maskless and in close contact. On Capitol Hill, some senators happily taking off their masks upon hearing the news. But there are exceptions. The CDC saying everyone should still wear masks in hospitals, on buses, trains, planes, and if required by a state, county, tribe, employer, or business. CVS says it's reevaluating its current mask mandate, but Kroger and Home Depot have no plans to lift theirs for now. A number of states, including Massachusetts, also keeping their policies in place.
This country is not homogeneous. It's not uniform. There are some areas in this country that still have more disease than others.
As for schools, officials are hoping to have kids back in person full-time come fall. And one of the nation's largest teachers unions is planning to follow the new guidance.
You have to make sure everybody's vaccinated, and you also have to make sure everybody's comfortable with it.
And the CDC says this decision was based on science, with cases going down in most of the country largely because of vaccinations. Officials do say unvaccinated people should still be wearing masks, including children, particularly when inside. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
Republican lawmakers are demanding that President Biden and his administration do more to address the situation at the U.S.-Mexico border. Republican state and local officials from border states say that their states have been forced to bear the burden of the influx of migrants coming into the country. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton says border states are being forced to deal with the surge of migrants without any direction. But White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki reiterated on Wednesday that the situation at the border is under control.
Because at the end of the day, what we've seen is a massive reduction in the number of children who are being detained in Border Patrol facilities thanks to the actions of this administration.
Psaki says the administration is working to address the root causes of illegal immigration. Sometimes, she says, this takes time.
Well, GOP lawmakers in the House now have a new conference chair, and a 134-46 vote. A New York Congresswoman will now take over for Liz Cheney. Faith Abube has the latest on that.
House Republicans Friday officially cementing their support for Representative Elise Stefanik, voting behind closed doors, putting the New York Congresswoman in the leadership ranks in charge of spreading the party's message. Stefanik making it clear the House GOP conference is united in rallying around former President Donald Trump.
He is a critical part of our Republican team.
With her as conference chair, Stefanik says the fight begins for the GOP to win back the House majority in 2022, a goal she and her predecessor, Liz Cheney, agree on. The Wyoming Congresswoman on Fox News.
I think it's really important for us to be as strong as possible in defeating the Biden policies. We cannot do that if we enable a lie.
Cheney was ousted as the third highest ranking Republican in the House for calling out Trump's false claims about widespread fraud in the 2020 election. A lie Stefanik has publicly defended. Many within the GOP conference now also trying to whitewash the savagery cameras captured when a mob of Donald Trump supporters stormed the Capitol on January 6th.
There was no insurrection, and to call it an insurrection, in my opinion, is a bold-faced lie.
GOP Congressman Andrew Clyde likening the rioters to tourists on a normal visit to the Capitol.
It was beyond denial. It fell into the range of sick.
And after months of fierce debate, lawmakers say there's a bipartisan agreement to form a commission to investigate the January 6th insurrection. California Congressman Eric Swalwell hopes the commission will underscore the truth.
We're continuing to just hold this out as what it was, an insurrection, right, and not allowing them to erase the fact that this was an insurrection.
House lawmakers are expected to vote on that commission sometime next week. Faith Abube, ABC News, Washington.
Very nice day today.
Yes, gorgeous out there.
I wish I were out there right now. Maybe we should just go out and do the news, right?
Oh, there you go. Do it from the patio.
Even the camera operator, Meredith, says that's a good idea.
Yeah, she's going with us.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Jesse will have what the weekend will look like after the break.
And also coming up, Prince Harry makes headlines with another interview. What he says it was like growing up royal in front of the whole world. When we come back.
Local news that matters with Dana Winklepleck, Mike Tank, and Chief Meteorologist Jesse Walker. You're watching WAWV Live at 5.
Hi, Bruce Roselli here, Terre Haute Rec's General Manager. And I'm happy to say we're playing ball this season. I'm looking forward to seeing you here at our freshly sanitized ballpark soon. Our first home game is Sunday, May 30th at 4:30. So call the office for tickets, corporate outings, be a part of the fun, great baseball, food, contests, weather, and as always, great players. Go Rex.
American Standard Mitsubishi Electric's revolutionary heat pump technology and their Zone Comfort solution can give your home total personalized comfort year-round. Their indoor units also feature true in-home air filtration, resulting in improved air quality with whisper quiet operation. Perfect for any home. Now through June 30th, we're offering a $500 instant rebate with the purchase of an American Standard Mitsubishi multi-room system. With special financing options available, there's never been a better time to buy. Call today or visit our website. Andrews Heating, your Mitsubishi Electric ductless pro dealer. Make yourself comfortable.
We at Prospect Bank provide new opportunities with an exceptional customer experience.
We are here both in person and online to help you open a new account, apply for a loan, or enhance an existing relationship.
Our MuniWise suite of products is designed to be customizable for all municipalities and their unique requirements.
A home equity line of credit might be the perfect solution to make that dreamy home edition a reality.
We offer products and services you need for you and your business.
We are Prospect Bank.
Instant access to national, local, political, and entertainment news all in one place. MyWabashValley.com. Your local weather authority with Chief Meteorologist Jesse Walker.
Welcome back, everybody. Yes, it has been pretty cold across the area. So far in May, we're 5.5 degrees below normal, but we're about to see a change in that with warmer weather now starting to move back into the area, and it's going to be around for a while, so that's some good news. We hit 71 today, closer to where it should be. 42, still chilly this morning. It shouldn't be quite that cold tomorrow morning. We're going to see more cloud cover moving in across the area tonight, and that will tend to hold the temperature up a little bit. No precipitation today. Really been fairly dry. I mean, 0.64 inches. Now, we're almost halfway through the month. Tomorrow will be the halfway point, basically, and we normally see about 4.5, so we should be around 2.25, not even near it. So it's been dry. We could use the rain. There is some rain in the forecast, maybe quite a bit of it. I'm going to show you that here in just a second. At the airport in Terre Haute, we're at 68, winds are south, only at 5 miles per hour. The wind has not been a real big deal. Here's what we got all across the area. It's 70 in Chicago right now, so that's better. It's 71 down in the Evansville area, 72 over in St. Louis, so we're all pretty consistent right around the 70-degree mark. On the water vapor satellite, nothing big going on near us. We do have more moisture to the west and trying to move into the area, but nothing significant out of that. You can see some clouds and some showers way off to the west of this area. But for us, we're actually looking pretty good, and things are going to be fine tonight. Off to the west of this area, a little bit of rain cooling things off across Iowa, but that's about it for us. We've had a few clouds drift across the region, but those clouds aren't doing anything as far as producing precipitation. We are all clean on the Dorset Automotive Doppler radar. Futurecast now. I don't expect anything tonight, and I really think we're going to get through tomorrow fine. I think the clouds will be on the increase. We have maybe a little sunshine early, but clouds on the increase. Rain looks to hold west of here during the day. Tomorrow night, we may start to see a few of these scattered showers move in, and then as we get into the day on Sunday, the rain chances look to be increasing. So again, I think tonight okay, tomorrow okay. By tomorrow night, Sunday, then we may have to start dodging a few of these showers as it starts to move in, and that's going to be a front that's going to stall out near this area and kind of bring off and on chances of rain. So here we go. This is Sunday. We're all the way through next Friday. No big change. The front's going to kind of waver back and forth across the area. Off and on chances of rain, not washouts, but off and on chances of showers and storms, a typical spring pattern in this area. So rainfall totals in the next week. This is what we think. The front's going to be to the south more, so the heavier rains will be there. Some of our southern counties, we're looking at 2 to 2.5 inches. The heart of the valley, probably 1.5 inches, give or take, and to the north, maybe under 1 inch. But as a general rule, 1 to 2 inches of rain easily, and probably some isolated cases higher than that in some storms. So going from the dry pattern to the wet pattern, no doubt about that. Also, going to go from the cooler pattern to the warmer pattern. You see, this is the warmer air out here. That advances to the north, advances off to the east, so we start seeing warmer weather, not only here, but I mean, this is getting hot out across the Rocky Mountain states. It's going to be cold in the west, hot in the Rocky Mountain states, and then for us, it's going to start to warm up as well. And long term now, this is May 20 to May 24. Look at this, centered right over the Midwest, above normal temperatures. So if you've been waiting for the warm weather, and I think most of you have, it's arriving. Forecast for tonight then, partly cloudy skies, not too bad, drops to 45 during the day tomorrow. Daytime high up around 70 degrees with mostly cloudy skies. If any showers we see would be late, and I think we'll get through the day fine. After that, though, we can't rule out some rain chances as we take you into the end of the weekend, and then almost daily chances next week, even thunderstorms mixed in, but more spring-like temperatures in the 70s to start and low 80s. The end of next week. Dana?
Yeah, going to have a nice day tomorrow. Thanks so much, Jesse. Prince Harry being very candid, talking about his childhood, mental health struggles, and his decision to move to the U.S. James Longman has those details.
Prince Harry making headlines again with another interview. What he says it was like growing up royal in front of the entire world, with millions watching his every move.
It's a mix between the Truman Show and being in a zoo.
Harry speaking out on actor Dax Shepard's podcast Armchair Expert, opening up about trauma, the toll that his childhood took on his mental health, and why he plans to parent differently from the way he was raised.
There's no blame, but certainly when it comes to parenting, if I've experienced some form of pain or suffering because of the pain or suffering that perhaps my father or my parents had suffered, I'm going to make sure that I break that cycle so that I don't pass it on. There's a lot of genetic pain and suffering that gets passed on anyway.
The Prince appeared on the podcast to promote his new docuseries on mental health, which touches on some tough topics. But it's hard to see how these comments will heal Harry's very public rift with the family. He told Oprah in March that his relationship with his father is fraught, and he claimed that after he stepped back from his duties as a working royal and moved to North America, Charles cut him off financially and for a period of time stopped taking his phone calls.
Is he taking your calls now?
Yeah, he is. There's a lot to work through there. You know, I will always love him, but there's a lot of hurt that's happened.
Harry also told the podcast that years of therapy helped him open his eyes and helped him realise that he had to make a change.
In my early 20s, I was a case of, like, I don't want this job. Yeah. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be doing this. Look what it did to my mum. How am I ever going to, settle down and have a wife and a family when I know that it's going to happen again? I know how this operation runs and how it works.
Yeah.
I don't want to be part of this. And then once I started doing therapy, suddenly it was like the bubble was burst. I was like, okay, you're in this position of privilege. Stop complaining. How are you going to use this platform to really affect change and be able to give people that confidence to be able to change their own lives?
Prince Harry spoke about genetic pain in this podcast interview, the idea that you can somehow inherit trauma in your genes through the generations. It is a fascinating and relatively unexplored part of science. I'll be interested to see if it appears in his conversations with Oprah. James Longman, ABC News in London.
As millions start to travel, car rental prices soaring. Coming up, are there alternatives to rental car companies? Maybe something like an Airbnb for cars.
Hello, I'm the new guy. Tell me about this epic stuffed crust pizza.
It's made with fresh, never frozen dough, hand stuffed with cheese.
Good job. All right, you called me, it is me.
No, I knew it was you.
Let me hear you say epic stuffed crust. Epic stuffed crust.
I'm Todd Hine with LaborLink. Are you ready to start work right away? Then go to GoLaborLink.com and click on the Job Seekers tab. This is where you can fill out our employment application and get the ball rolling. Plus, you can click on our job postings and see what jobs we are immediately hiring for. If you're ready to take control of your future and have the support of a team that cares about you, then apply now. Start work right away with LaborLink.
The FBI calls home title theft one of the fastest growing white-collar cyber crimes in America. But I wanted to know why. So I asked the former assistant director of the FBI's cyber division.
Many of these criminals are in fact online, and they have partners in the United States who help them perpetrate these home title thefts.
So don't leave it to chance. Protect what matters most with Home Title Lock.
Join the homeowners who've made Home Title Lock the #1 leader in home title protection. Identity theft programs might claim to offer this service, but Home Title Lock is the only company that exclusively specializes in stopping these high-dollar crimes. Your home title is everything to you. That's why it's everything to us. And if you have to fight in court, they'll spend up to $250,000 in legal fees to win your title back. Go to HometitleLock.com now or call 800-245-1433 to get 10% off and a free home title scan worth $100. So call now.
Locally owned and operated for over 40 years, Midas Service Center has you covered. Oil changes, brakes, tires, alignments, and more. Let Brian and his team help you get back on the road. Call 812-238-2582 or visit us online and make your appointment today.
This is local news that matters. WAWV Live at 5 continues.
As rental car prices soar across the country, you could be sharing your car for cash. Some consumers are saving money by trying out a new method as they hit the road. Gio Benitez has more.
Call it the Airbnb of car rentals. As millions start to travel, car rental prices are soaring in vacation hotspots. Hopper telling us a 4-day rental is now at $400. That's double the average price that you would have paid just this January.
On the Hopper app alone, we've seen a 500% increase in demand for short rental car trips since the beginning of this year.
And some top destinations are seeing extreme shortages and price spikes, like California, Nevada, Hawaii, and Florida. I looked at Miami. I looked at Fort Lauderdale. I looked at West Palm Beach. No cars.
They're one of the states that's seeing the fastest resurgence of tourists coming back.
Plus, car manufacturers are facing a global computer chip shortage, and many rental car companies sold off their fleets during the pandemic. To counter the shortage, many are now turning to peer-to-peer car-sharing services like Turo, Getaround, and Avail. You essentially rent someone's personal car directly from them rather than a rental company. Memorial Day weekend rentals in Honolulu, more than $1,300 from Thursday to Monday with national rental chains. But on peer-to-peer sharing site Turo, just $137. Lindsay Sturman did it in L.A. Were you a little bit anxious at first when you first used this service?
I thought this was insane. It's a little bit when you first heard about Airbnb, you're like, what? Why would you do that? That's crazy.
She sees it as a way to limit her environmental footprint while also paying less.
We found the car we wanted, and this guy came to my house and he drove it up, and he was my neighbor. He pays his rent by Turoing his car. He pays his lease and his rent.
Now, there are some things to think about. Are those private owners properly maintaining their cars? And what about insurance? A lot of people rely on their credit card companies to provide that rental car insurance. That may not work here. You may need some separate insurance. Gio Benitez, ABC News, New York.
Interesting idea. Well, in December, a black doctor with COVID said her treatment at IU Health was biased against her. It prompted an independent review board to look into those allegations. What they found, coming up next.
It's the last episode before Idol's grand finale. And I don't want it to end. Phineas mentors and performs live. And who will be your top 3?
They just need to vote for you.
American Idol live coast to coast Sunday on ABC.
Summer's here, and with a great deal on a new Toyota, you can go out and do all the things that make summer, well, summer. Like go biking, glamping, pony rides, Mother's Day, scavenger hunts. Found it! Off-roading.
Right now, you can lease a new 2021 Benza Hybrid for just $269 a month. To learn more, visit your local Toyota dealer or go to Toyota.com.
Your summer starts here.
Toyota, let's go places.
Update your home's exterior with help from Menards. Mastercraft makes great doors inside and out. We have the best in-stock selection to take home today. Or design your door your way, in-store or online at Menards.com. Then check out the great selection of JELD-WEN windows. Menards has over 140 in-stock sizes and styles of windows to choose from. Save 11% on all JELD-WEN windows and Mastercraft doors at Menards.
Save big money at Menards. Congratulations to the class of 2021. Join us online for the 31st annual Top of the Class and celebrate these outstanding students. Visit Top of the Class page on mywabashvalley.com to honor these graduates and all their hard work. Brought to you by Brampton Brick. This is local news that matters. WAWV Live at 5 continues.
An outside investigation into the death of a black doctor while she battled COVID-19 found that the treatment she received at IU Health North did not contribute to her death.
But a review by a panel of 6 outside experts says Dr. Susan Moore suffered from a lack of cultural competence on the part of those treating her.
Courtney Spinelli breaks it down.
So I'm hoping her death is not in vain.
The death of Dr. Susan Moore had IU Health ordering an external review of its hospital system.
This was the second worst day.
You may remember Dr. Moore was admitted during a battle with COVID-19. During her time there, she recorded videos saying she was not receiving proper care because she is black. She was released, readmitted almost immediately to another hospital, and later died. An external review into Dr. Susan Moore's care at IU Health revealed the treatment she received did not contribute to her death. However, the panel of 6 diversity and healthcare experts did find a lack of empathy, compassion, and cultural competence by some caregivers at IU Health. In a statement, the CEO of IU Health wrote, quote, "It is clear to me that Dr. Moore deserved to be listened to and for her concerns to be understood."
But we were happy at the same time that the external review committee felt the same way for something that we've been pushing so long.
State Rep Robin Shackelford says she's happy IU Health is taking the recommendations from the panel to train on cultural awareness and implicit bias. Still, she wants more to be done.
A lot of my colleagues and a lot of people believe that racism does not exist, let alone in Indiana or our healthcare system.
That's why the Indiana Black Legislative Caucus introduced a measure this session that would require implicit bias training for healthcare professionals, among other measures. But it didn't get a hearing or a summer study. Still, a member of the Governor's Health Disparities Council hopes this opens the door for more discussion.
I think that bill is probably too little, but it's a beginning of conversation.
Well, excitement is revving up for the greatest spectacle in racing. The Grand Prix is this weekend, and we are just 16 days away from the 105th running of the Indy 500. All 135,000 race tickets have been mailed out. IndyCar driver Dalton Kellett joined the IMS ticket office yesterday to package up the last batch of tickets. Cars will hit the track today and tomorrow for the Grand Prix. Colts quarterback, new quarterback that is, Carson Wentz, will tell the racers to start their engines at the start of the road course race. IMS President Doug Bowles says he wants to welcome Wentz to the Circle City in a big way. In Illinois, a new push to phase out lead water pipes is working its way through Springfield. But first, they're trying to figure out exactly how many lead pipe systems there are in the state. The last inventory the state ran was in 2017, but that count marked thousands of pipes as unknown. It found that Illinois still has around 680,000 lead pipes in service. There are also over 770,000 pipes made of unknown material in the state. Environmental experts want to clear up that data.
Even though we say there's around 680,000 lead service lines in Illinois, truthfully, it could be much more than that. And, there are communities who aren't aware that as, things happen, their own lead service line could be disrupted and cause an elevated health risk for them and their family.
After the inventory is finished, communities will be responsible to replace the pipes themselves, and they would be given a deadline to do that based on how many they have.
Illinois says the tourism industry is back and open for business. Top industry and state leaders kicked off a $6 million ad campaign encouraging people to get out and travel. Recent surveys show that half Americans plan to travel this summer. The tourism and hospitality industries combine to employ more workers than any other industry in the state, except state government. One senator estimated some 600,000 workers are involved in the sector. Now that things are starting to open up again, some of the most powerful leaders in the state just encourage folks to get out and drive.
Life-saving vaccines are bringing us back to life and heading toward a summer of fun and venturing out. There are so many wonderful things to see and do in this state. So Illinois is opening for business, and I encourage everyone to be part of it. Get vaccinated and get out there.
Get in your car, everyone. Drive Illinois. This is a beautiful state. Come visit Springfield. Come visit the Abraham Lincoln Library and Museum.
Yeah, the Lincoln Museum is one of many places inviting people to show their vaccination card to get free admission. That offer lasts through the end of next month.
This year, some Illinois taxpayers could see some relief in the state budget. Momentum is building around an idea to reinstate some tax breaks. Illinois Democrats argue that just because you pay more than $10,000 a year on property taxes doesn't necessarily mean you're rich. Former President Trump capped the SALT deduction amount at $10,000, which reduced a loophole for the middle class and wealthy. Last month, 7 Democratic governors, including Governor Pritzker, wrote a letter to President Biden and said, like so many of President Trump's efforts, capping SALT deductions was based on politics, not logic or good government.
There are people in the middle class who fall into this SALT cap challenge, and so we want to lower taxes on, as many of those people as we possibly can.
Basically, this allows them to qualify for the tax deduction on their federal return, but it costs Illinois nothing.
Republican State Senator Win Stoller wants to extend the SALT deduction to S-corps and LLCs. He says businesses would stand to gain thousands of dollars through the extension of these tax breaks. Wow, nice day today.
Nice day today, a nice day tomorrow. Not so nice on Sunday.
Yeah, good to go downhill a little bit, yeah. But, we could use the rain, so that's a good thing, I guess, too. Yeah, 70 tomorrow, a lot of clouds. Near 70 then on Sunday, with the rain chances increasing and the temperatures increasing, low 80s, guys. A week from today, there are hints, by the way, a week from this weekend, possibly mid-80s, believe it or not.
Wow.
Yeah.
We are climbing.
Weathermen become very popular, don't they, at that kind of temperature. That is it for our show at 5 o'clock on this beautiful Friday.
We encourage you now to head over to WTWO for News at 6.
The reason why you should choose Crossroads Cyclery is that we are an authorized Giant dealer. We sell a full line of Giant bikes. We want to make sure you enjoy your bike and that you enjoy the riding experience.
Going into a bike shop can be intimidating. We encourage customers to come in, check us out, and know the people behind the shop.
We do service bikes. We do full line repairs, everything from changing inner tubes to rebuilding bikes if need be.
I'm Maria.
And I'm Jim.
Life's a journey.
Enjoy the ride.
Like you, my hands are everything to me. But I was diagnosed with Dupuytren's contracture, and it got to the point where things I took for granted got tougher to do. Thought surgery was my only option. Turns out, I was wrong. So when a hand specialist told me about non-surgical treatments, it was a total game changer. Like you, my hands have a lot more to do. Learn more at faxonhand.com today.
Hey, sandwich fan, new Denny's melts belong in your hand. Patty melt's a classic, the Big Dipper's fantastic, and the Nashville hot chicken, bombastic? 4 melts in all, grilled to please. Now with free delivery. See you at Denny's.com.
There you go, a nice, yummy breakfast.
Hey, where's the little leprechaun?
I think he's still getting dressed.
No, on the box. This isn't our normal cereal.